Hi everybody, so you've had lots of comments, lots of questions that you've asked about the vehicle, so we're going to dive straight in and talk you through some of those as well. So to start off with Hamish. Hi Hamish, you've asked SatNav should show in map cluster be available on my Cali Ocean 6.1 2020 model. So the answer to that is I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So on the 2020 model, unless you've got satellite navigation and got the Pro version, you didn't have the full view range within the digital dash or the cockpit side of it. Now in 2021 they've made that as part of the standard setup, so if you go on all the 2021 models you get the full view where you can change the view in the actual cluster. So the cluster it's referring to as the digital dash panel that's there. So as far as I'm aware, I don't think on the 2020 models that it had that option that was there, because you could only have one thing in the middle of the dash, which was the satellite navigation only in the centre part of the dash, and you could only get it to the full section if you upgraded to the Pro version. So I'm assuming that if you had the Pro version on a 2020 model, it would have that option in. So I hope that answers your question, Hamish, and I'm assuming that you've got the standard satellite navigation in your vehicle and not the Pro version, and then thus so you wouldn't have that option that's in there. If you haven't, send us another comment and we'll have a look, and I can get another vehicle out and just double check that for you as well to see what we've got from there. So YB asks, what's the best way to store your Cali over winter? Should you have a trickle charge? There'll be lots and lots of people who have different opinions on this, so please, if you find the comment below for that, put it in there if you want to have a discussion about it, what you think is the best course of action. If you're not using your California over the winter time, my advice, very simply, if you're not using it at all from in there, is things like keep your water tanks open, so make sure your valves are open on your water tanks, and definitely empty your cold water tank that's in there as well. Other and above that, things like turning your gas supply off, making sure they're all fully turned off in winter, that's there so they're not connected. These are the things that you could be doing from on there. As far as the electric with the triple charge is concerned, obviously if you've got access to plug your vehicle in, you could plug your vehicle in. They've all got a smart charger, so it won't do any harm being plugged in. As you'll probably see from our showroom vehicles, most of the vehicles we have in our showroom, we permanently plug them in, and obviously it's charging them as and required to keep them batteries topped up. But a triple charger is to say you're going to plug a triple charger in somewhere. I mean, you can get solar triple chargers that you leave on top of the vehicle, which is probably not too bad now actually, because the sun is starting to get higher in the sky. So hope that answers that for you, YB. So Anthony asks, does air conditioning work off mains power when you're plugged in? The air conditioning on the Grand only works when it's got a 240 volt supply, so that means that it does need to be plugged in at the rear of the vehicle. Now obviously that means that can be at home, that can be on a campsite, anywhere like that. As long as that plugs in and you've got mains power coming, your air conditioning system on the roof will work. If you haven't got that and you're completely off grid, then it won't work. As simple as that, it won't work from on there. However, tip for you that's on this, and a customer of ours has recently done it. They've just bought themselves a little, I think it was petrol generator, a Honda one. I think he said it's called a suitcase or something, it's about this big, that's there, and they've actually been using that. So I think they start that up if they're completely off grid somewhere and they want these things to work, and obviously they must plug it into the side of the vehicle, and that gives them 240 volts. So that's what they've gone and done. I'm not sure if they've actually used it yet, obviously with it being locked down, etc., but that was their plan. So that might work for you possibly in that situation, again, if you wanted to use that with you not being plugged in, but as a standard feature it does need to be plugged in for that to work. Next question is from David. It says, there always seem to be some black nets in the boot of the comfort mattress. What are they for? That's the net for the upstairs bed in the California, whether it be Ocean Coast Beach, that's there. So the Grand actually has one as well. It's got the bed upstairs as well that's in there, and it's a net which fixes to the roof and goes under the mattress, and basically if you've got small children upstairs and they're asleep, obviously they tend to roll around and things like that, that's on there, it just stops them, for example, rolling out of the hatch with nothing else that's there. So effectively they press up against it and wouldn't go out. It does not stop children climbing over it and falling through the hatch or anything like that. It is literally just, I think, as a means to go up, and it's about that deep or so. that's on there. I'll check back through, and if we haven't done a video, we will do a video that's on there. All the vehicles come with them as standard, which is why whenever you see a video, that's where it is. Jason's asked, is it easy to switch between miles per hour and kilometres an hour when you're travelling to Europe? And is also a travel mode for the headlights? Well, I'll start with the headlights. If you've got LED headlights on your vehicle, so depending on what model that you've got, those you don't need to do anything with because they're a different beam pattern, so they're what class as a straight beam pattern, so you can drive straight across. You don't need to put any headlamp protector or anything like that on. They're fine. If you've got normal headlights that's on the vehicle, then you'll need headlamp protectors, and part of that protection kit is the blanking stickers which can go on the front of the headlights, and they'll obviously then take the dip off for the headlights so that you can drive in Europe. Hope that answers that question for you. And as far as the kilometres miles per hour is concerned, it just does depend on the age of the vehicle which you've got. On the current ones, on the 6.1 for example, it does show you in kilometres an hour, so you can't switch between the two. It just shows you on there. Obviously in your dash as you go through, you have got the option of the kilometres or miles per hour settings that's in there as well, but those do show you on the dash as you're moving along. Sean's asked, how do you display the overall mileage and not just the trip mileage? I get this asked a lot actually with the vehicles. For some reason your overall mileage is only shown when you're stationary, so when you're actually stopped and you jump into the vehicle, your mileage is displayed. As soon as you turn that key over, it's only showing you your the mileage of which you've got on your trip computer that's on there. As far as I'm aware, there's no way of changing that. It's basically just how it is. So you've got to be stationary and stopped, and then it'll show you overall mileage. This question might also have been from Sean as well, possibly. He said, can you provide a fuse card for the T6.1? Because the user manual doesn't have one. I think your rear wipers stop working and you can't check the fuse. Most modern Volkswagen vehicles now, in the fuse section of the handbook, it basically gives you an explanation that says, because the models are so different and they're changing them all the time, they don't produce a fuse card, and it says please contact your local van centre. I've experienced this myself with my Amarok that I'm driving. I've just blown a fuse on the 12 volt sockets that you put in that's in there, same message as it's in there. Obviously I didn't need to call, I just needed to walk through to the workshop, gave them a chassis number, and then they very kindly gave me a printout that said, well, that particular fuse is in location 11 on this particular fuse board. So what I say is get in contact with us if we're your local van centre, or whichever your local van centre is. Give them your reg or your chassis number of your vehicle, and they should happily be able to give you the fuse location, as in which actual fuse box it's in, that's in there, because there are one or two different locations for those, and what the actual fuse number is as well, so you'll actually be able to locate it, and the actual what type of fuse it is as well, so you should have everything to go with that as well. Or alternative, just pop into your centre. Some fuses are more harder to change than others depending on where they are, so hope that answers your question. Said get in touch and they will give you that, and that is the same pretty much for anyone that you can't find a fuse location. It does tell you in your handbook to contact your local van centre, and they'll be able to give you that information through the service department. Well, I hope that's answered most of your questions that have been in the comment section that's below there. I hope we've not missed anybody out. If we have, pop a comment on, put it on this video. If there's more questions and things like that you want answering, again, put them on this video as well, and we'll do another question and answer session as soon as we can. We always find these a good way of so that everybody knows what the answers are, rather than as I said before, replying to individual people. Everybody knows then, because there's probably questions people are thinking about that don't put a comment on, so we always like to do this, and I do get people feedback saying I'm glad such a person asked that question because I've been wondering it myself as well.